You know how we're always looking for the real story behind the headlines? Well, yesterday, the gaming world went absolutely bonkers with the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you caught the buzz on ABC FM radio's technology update, you'll know exactly what we're diving into.
Hmm.
They were talking about stunning graphics, a killer screen, and a whole new level for portable gaming.
Right.
So for this deep dive, we've sifted through all the info to bring you the crucial details and help you figure out what this new console really means for your gaming life.
Exactly. The hype is definitely real, and with so much information swirling around, our mission here is to kind of cut through the noise.
Yeah.
We want to give you a clear understanding of the Switch 2, what's truly new, what's exciting, and ultimately whether this is the upgrade you've been waiting for.
All right, let's get down to brass tacks then. When can you actually get one of these in your hands, and what's the damage to the wallet?
Okay.
Our sources confirm the Australian launch date is June 5th, 2025, so just a little wait left.
Right. And for our Aussie listeners, you'll have a couple of options right out of the gate. The console on its own will set you back $699 AUD.
Okay.
Or, if you're itching to jump into the new Mario Kart world, there's a bundle with the game for $769 AUD.
Now, it's always eye-opening to see how these prices compare around the globe. We know the US price for the standalone console is $449.99 USD.
Hmm.
Interestingly, one of our sources covering the Australian pricing suggested it's not as bad as it could have been. What does that tell you about expectations for tech pricing down there?
Well, it kind of highlights the fact that Australian consumers are often accustomed to a premium on imported tech.
Yeah.
So while it's higher than the direct conversion, it seems Nintendo has managed to keep it within a perceived acceptable range, maybe considering shipping costs and local market factors.
Makes sense.
For our listeners in the UK, the console alone is £395.99, and that Mario Kart World bundle is £429.99. These regional differences are pretty standard, really, for global tech rollouts, reflecting various economic and market dynamics.
Okay, so you know when and how much. Now let's peek under the hood at the key hardware upgrades. This is where things get really interesting and starts to answer that question of whether it's a significant leap forward.
Right.
Let's talk about the screen first. The ABC FM update mentioned a killer screen. What's the real deal?
They weren't far off, actually. The Switch 2 features a larger 7.9-inch LCD screen, bumping the resolution up to 1080p.
Wow.
That's a considerable improvement over the original Switch's 6.2-inch 720p display. What this means for you is just a sharper, more detailed image, especially in handheld mode.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, there's support for HDR, promising richer colors and better contrast, and the potential for a silky smooth 120 frames per second in games that support it.
120 pace, okay.
Imagine your favorite games looking significantly more vibrant and fluid on the go.
That sounds like a game changer for handheld play. But what about when you want to dock it and play on the big screen?
The docking experience has also been seriously upgraded. The new dock will now support 4K resolution output on your TV,
4K, nice.
again with HDR, and the potential for up to 120 FPS. This brings the Switch 2 much more in line with current-gen home consoles in terms of visual fidelity on a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, the new dock includes a built-in fan.
Oh, really? A fan?
Yeah, this suggests that the Switch 2 is packing some serious processing power, and Nintendo's ensuring it stays cool under, demanding workloads.
A built-in fan in the dock, that's a reassuring sign they're pushing the performance. Speaking of performance, storage was always a bit of a bottleneck on the original. What's the situation with the Switch 2?
Yeah. You'll be pleased to hear the internal memory has seen a significant jump to 256 GB,
Finally.
a substantial increase from the original 32 GB.
Hmm.
This gives you much more breathing room for digital game downloads. However,
Uh-oh.
if you're planning on expanding your storage further with micro SD cards, there's a new wrinkle.
A wrinkle. Lay it on us.
The Switch 2 requires a new, faster type of micro SD card called Express cards.
Express cards. Okay.
These are designed to handle the higher data transfer speeds that the new console is capable of. Unfortunately, this means your existing micro SD cards from your original Switch won't be compatible.
Ouch. So no carryover there?
Nope. So for you with a large digital library on your old card, this will likely mean investing in new storage.
So a clean slate on the expandable storage front. Got it. What other physical changes can we expect? Ports, audio, any surprises there?
Well, the Switch 2 now features two USB-C ports, offering more flexibility for connecting peripherals.
2. Okay.
On the audio front, Nintendo is promising enhanced built-in speakers for better sound quality directly from the console, as well as 3D audio support for headphones,
3D audio.
which should create a more immersive soundscape. There's also a built-in microphone with noise canceling,
Oh, nice.
a very welcome addition for the new online voice chat features we'll get to.
Noise canceling on the built-in mic is a smart move for online play.
Yeah.
And what about that trusty kickstand for tabletop mode? It always felt a little flimsy on the original.
It's been completely redesigned, apparently. Described as large and sturdy, offering much greater flexibility in adjusting the viewing angle.
Wow, good.
For those impromptu multiplayer sessions on the go, this should make a significant difference in comfort and stability.
Definitely sounds like a more thoughtful design. Now, let's talk about those iconic Joy-Con controllers. They're getting an upgrade too, right?
They are indeed. The new Joy-Cons 2 now connect magnetically to the console.
Magnetically.
Yeah, a small change that could lead to a more secure and satisfying connection. The SL and SR buttons, as well as the analog sticks, have been enlarged, which should improve ergonomics
And that's good news for my hands.
and make those longer gaming sessions more comfortable.
Larger buttons and sticks sound like a definite improvement for handling. But I'm hearing whispers of a brand new button, a C button. What's the story there?
That's right. On the right-hand Joy-Con, you'll find a new C button. Its primary function is to provide quick access to a chat menu for the new online voice and video chat features.
Ah, okay, for chat.
Interestingly, the new Joy-Cons also have the capability to be used somewhat like a PC mouse.
Wait, like a mouse?
Yeah, though the specifics of how that will work in games are still kind of emerging. Imagine navigating menus or even having some limited pointer control in certain game genres. It opens up some intriguing possibilities.
A mouse-like Joy-Con. That's unexpected. What about the Pro Controller for those of us who prefer a more traditional gamepad for those extended sessions at home?
The optional Pro Controller is also receiving an update. It now includes a dedicated audio jack,
Oh, finally.
those new customizable GR and GL rear buttons for more control options, and of course the C button for chat access.
Rear buttons, nice.
The US price for the new Pro Controller is listed at $79.99 USD. This is packing some extra features for the dedicated players.
So a solid set of controller options.
Yeah.
And I also noticed mention of a separate camera accessory. What's the purpose of that?
Right, Nintendo will be offering a standalone Nintendo Switch 2 camera accessory. Its main purpose is for live video chat during online multiplayer sessions,
Okay, video chat.
allowing for a more face-to-face connection with other players. It's also suggested that some games might incorporate native modes that utilize the camera for unique gameplay experiences.
Okay, so a real push towards connecting with other players online. Let's dive into those online features. It sounds like Nintendo is finally upping its game in this crucial area.
Absolutely. For Nintendo Switch Online subscribers, the Switch 2 will offer integrated voice and video chat, conveniently accessible via that new C button.
Integrated, yes.
No more fumbling with separate phone apps, just to chat with your friends while you play. This is a significant streamlining of the online experience for you.
That's a massive quality of life improvement. And I saw something about this new game chat being free for a limited time.
Yes, Nintendo is making the game chat feature free for all Switch 2 users until March 31st, 2026.
Oh, wow. Okay.
After that, a Nintendo Switch Online subscription will be required to continue using it. It's a great way for everyone to try out the new communication features.
A smart way to get people hooked. What other online enhancements can we look forward to?
Well, you'll also have the ability to share your screen during game sessions, essentially like a video call, using either the built-in mic or that optional camera.
Screen sharing, too. Okay.
And the existing Nintendo Switch Online app will be getting a simpler name, becoming just the Nintendo Switch app in May 2025.
Streamlining the branding makes sense. Now, one of the more intriguing new features I came across was Game Share. How does that work?
Game Share is a brand new local wireless game sharing feature. For supported games, two Switch 2 consoles that are in close proximity will be able to play together using only one copy of the game.
Whoa, really? Only one copy?
Yep. This could be fantastic for families or playing with friends locally without the need for everyone to own a separate copy.
That's huge.
Imagine bringing your Switch 2 to a friend's house and being able to jump into a multiplayer game, even if they haven't purchased it themselves, a real boost for local multiplayer.
That sounds incredibly convenient for those local gaming get-togethers. Now, the big question on many listeners' minds, especially those who invested in the original Switch. What about their existing game library? Is the Switch 2 backwards compatible?
The answer is a resounding yes.
Huh? Okay, good.
The Nintendo Switch 2 is backwards compatible with both digital and physical games from the original Nintendo Switch.
Both. Physical too.
Both. So all those games you've collected will still be playable on your new console. That's a significant value proposition for those looking to upgrade.
That's a huge relief for so many players, myself included. But I did notice one of our sources mentioning Nintendo referring to compatible Switch 1 games. Does that leave the door open for some potential exceptions?
That's a valid point to consider.
Hmm.
While the expectation is that the vast majority of original Switch games will be compatible, the specific wording does leave a sliver of possibility that some titles, perhaps due to very specific hardware dependencies, might not make the transition. We'll likely get a definitive list closer to the official launch.
Fair enough. A good reminder that nothing is ever absolute in the tech world. And I also saw some buzz about Switch 2 editions of certain older games. What's the deal with those?
Yes, Nintendo will be re-releasing some select original Switch games as enhanced Switch 2 editions.
Ah,
These versions will take advantage of the new hardware, offering improvements like higher frame rates, potential support for using the Joy-Cons as a mouse, or even new gameplay features that utilize the camera.
so like remasters, kinda?
Sort of, yeah. These enhanced editions will be available digitally, physically, or potentially as paid DLC upgrade packs for those who already own the original versions.
Paid upgrades, interesting.
It's a way to revisit some beloved titles with a fresh, upgraded experience.
So a chance to relive some classics with a visual and performance boost. Now, let's brace ourselves for a topic that can sometimes cause a bit of sticker shock. Game pricing.
Uh-oh.
It sounds like we might be seeing an increase with Switch 2 titles.
Unfortunately, yes. The reports do indicate that new games developed specifically for the Nintendo Switch 2 will likely come with a higher price tag.
How high are we talking?
Digital games may see prices up to $80 USD, and physical releases could potentially reach $90 USD.
Wow, $90.
Yeah. This reflects the increased development costs associated with more advanced hardware and potentially larger, more complex games.
Ouch. That's a noticeable jump from the $60 or $70 we've become accustomed to on other recent consoles.
Right.
Can we see this pricing reflected in any of the announced games?
Yes. The highly anticipated Mario Kart World is listed at $80 USD for the digital version,
80 for digital Mario Kart.
and potentially $90 USD for the physical release, based on European pricing of €80 and €90 respectively.
Okay.
Even a title like Donkey Kong. Bonanza is listed at €70 digitally and €80 physically in Europe, suggesting that this price increase won't be limited to just the flagship titles.
So it's across the board, potentially.
Seems like it could be. And as we touched on, upgrading your existing version of a game to a Switch 2 edition, like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild being mentioned as potentially costing $80 USD on the new console might also involve a cost.
Right.
So it looks like budgeting for new Switch 2 games will be something you'll definitely need to consider.
Definitely something to keep in mind for our wallets. Now, this next bit is quite unusual and has certainly raised a few eyebrows. A Japan-specific model of the Switch 2.
Ah, yes.
Tell us more about this unique situation.
Nintendo is indeed offering a cheaper Japanese language-only version of the Switch 2 exclusively in Japan.
Japanese language only?
Only. It's called the Japanese language system, and is priced at 49,980 yen, which translates to roughly $333.87 USD.
Whoa, that's way cheaper.
Significantly less expensive than the standard multi-language version, which will cost 69,980 yen, or around $467.48 USD.
That's a massive price difference for the same core hardware. What's driving this decision?
The primary drivers are likely a combination of the current weak yen, making imported goods more expensive in Japan,
Ah, the exchange rate.
and a strategic move to make the console more accessible to domestic consumers in their home market. However, there's a crucial catch for anyone outside of Japan eyeing this cheaper model. It features region locking in a way we haven't seen from Nintendo in a while.
Region locking, really?
Well, kinda. The system language is exclusively Japanese, and only Nintendo accounts with the country region set to Japan can be linked to it.
So it's not just a language barrier. It's intentionally restricted for use within Japan. What's the rationale behind this more restrictive approach?
By implementing this language and account linking restriction on the cheaper model, Nintendo is likely trying to prevent large-scale importation by consumers in other regions who might be tempted by the lower price.
Ah, to stop gray imports.
Exactly. This helps Nintendo maintain price stability and market control in different territories. It's a somewhat unusual step in today's globalized market, though.
It's certainly a departure from their more recent strategies. What about pre-orders? Are they being handled differently in Japan compared to the rest of the world?
Yes, the pre-order process will vary. In Japan, Nintendo is implementing a lottery system for pre-orders of the Switch 2,
A lottery, wow.
with further details to be announced on April 4th. This suggests high demand in their home market.
No kidding.
For the West, specifically the US and UK have been mentioned, pre-orders are anticipated to begin on April 8th or 9th. Nintendo has indicated they will be using an invite system for direct pre-orders,
Invites, how does that work?
potentially based on factors like having an active Nintendo Switch online membership and playtime history.
Oh, interesting. Rewarding existing players, maybe?
Possibly. Of course, retailer pre-orders are also expected to be available alongside that.
Interesting to see these different approaches to managing the initial demand. Now let's circle back to one of the headlining launch titles, Mario Kart World. The ABC FM update really highlighted this one. What are the key things we need to know?
Mario Kart World is indeed slated to be a launch title, arriving alongside the Switch 2 on June 5th, 2025.
Okay, launch day.
Perhaps the most significant and talked about change is that it's now an open-world game.
Open world, Mario Kart.
Yeah. While the specifics of how traditional Mario Kart racing mechanics will integrate into an open-world environment are still unfolding, the early reports suggest vast and visually impressive race circuits, with a level of detail exceeding that of Mario Kart 8. It's a bold new direction for the franchise, for sure.
Open world Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That's a concept that's both exciting and a little mind-bending. And there's a bundle option that includes the console and the game.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier with the pricing, there will be a Nintendo Switch 2 and Mario Kart World bundle available for $769 AUD, $429.99, or $499.99 USD.
Right, the bundle price.
Opting for the bundle will likely offer a slight saving compared to purchasing the console and the game separately.
Good deal.
And for those who enjoy a more immersive kart racing experience, Nintendo will be selling a set of 2 Joy-Con wheels, specifically designed for motion control in Mario Kart World, priced at $19.99 USD for the pair.
Motion-controlled open-world kart racing. Oh, that sounds like a recipe for some chaotic fun. What about some of the other games that were announced alongside the Switch 2? There seemed to be a good mix of titles.
Absolutely. For fans of classic arcade racers, F-Zero GX is making a comeback on the Switch 2 through GameCube emulation.
F-Zero GX, yes.
Fantastic news for longtime Nintendo fans. Zelda fans will be interested to know about Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, a brand new prequel story set before Tears of the Kingdom.
Another Hyrule Warriors, okay.
A new Donkey Kong adventure, Donkey Kong Bonanza, is scheduled for release on July 17th.
DK is back.
Interestingly, From Software, the renowned developers behind Dark Souls and Elden Ring, are working on a new PvPvE title called Duskbloods.
From Software on Switch 2. Wow.
Yep. We also have Kirby Aerial Riders, which appears to be a sequel in the racing vein of Kirby Air Ride, a futuristic racer called Fast Fusion, and the highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong, still on track for a 2025 release.
Silksong confirmed for 2025 on Switch 2, finally.
And for those craving a grand open-world RPG experience, Elden Ring. Carnaged Edition is also coming to the Switch 2.
Elden Ring on Switch 2. That'll be interesting to see how it runs.
Definitely.
That's a pretty compelling lineup, spanning a wide range of genres and appealing to different types of gamers. It definitely gives a strong indication of the software support we can expect for the Switch 2.
It does indeed. There's a healthy mix of Nintendo's beloved franchises, exciting new titles, and significant third-party support, suggesting a vibrant future for the Switch 2's game library.
So to bring it all together for you, our listener, the Nintendo Switch 2 represents a significant step forward with its upgraded screen, 4K docking capability, increased storage, and redesigned controllers. The new online features, particularly the integrated voice and video chat, are a welcome evolution, and the backwards compatibility is a huge win for existing Switch owners.
Absolutely huge.
However, we also need to factor in the likely increase in game prices and that rather unique situation with the Japan-only, language-locked model.
Precisely. The Switch 2 offers a lot of enticing advancements and promises a richer gaming experience both on the go and on the big screen. But the higher cost of entry, both for the console and potentially for games, along with the changes in storage expansion and the regional considerations, are all important factors for you to weigh when considering an upgrade.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Considering all the details we've unpacked about the Nintendo Switch 2, from the impressive hardware enhancements and new ways to connect with friends online, to the changes in how you might buy and store your games, and even that intriguing Japan-specific model, what aspect stands out most to you?
Hmm.
What are you most excited about exploring, and what lingering questions do you have about how this new console will shape the future of your gaming? Maybe you're already picturing yourself in the open world of Mario Kart.
Yeah, maybe.
Or perhaps you're wondering just how those Switch 2 editions will enhance your favorite classics. Whatever it is, the arrival of the Switch 2 is a significant moment, and we encourage you to delve deeper into the aspects that pique your interest the most. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.